You mean for
them winning that
Rage.
last. Oh, sorry, Influence Rage. Sorry, my mind is still back in Octagaming in the other match. But anyways,
well, like
Influence Rage.
For me, it's just it's the core of what I said before, is that you chose something that was super complicated, that needed all of these boxes to be checked to go right against a tried and tested composition and a tried and tested strategy. And I feel like the biggest reason that this is a huge topic is because Marcel himself is not a complicated hero. He's not a Fanny. He's not a Lance where you need to know like everything that's going on. You need to have cables all over the place. He goes in, he stuns, he stops things. You know what I mean? It's very simple. The problem is that the synergy needed from the rest of the team is so complicated. So everybody sees the simplicity of the hero and you're like, all right, this is gonna be easy. All right, we're just gonna go in, 1, 2, 3, get that stop, and we're gonna be able to get the success that we want. Speaking of Fanny, Influence Rage is gonna go ahead and start things off with a Fanny ban.
Yeah.
Fanny and you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like banning Fanny in the first ban here in the first stage, especially because now Onizy Globant is heading in the red side, so that could be a very interesting situation for Luizinho. Now banning also Freya one more time, what a surprise, and Eevee now in the mid lane for Influence Rage. But still, there are so many broken heroes, so many strong meta heroes open, like Zushin, that is also banned here, Zina.
Yeah, Zushin, of course, will get banned. She's a strong player in these. She's meta right now, for sure. They want to get rid of her. She didn't do well in that last round, but it probably could, like you said, it could have been the synergy of the team, and it just didn't work well with that composition.
Right here, we're probably looking at a Valentina ban so that you can offset the Marcel or Sora pickup on the side of Influence Rage. They want to, if you want to try to guarantee one of those picks, you go with the Valentina ban, maybe force the Sora ban so that you can go ahead and pick up Marcel if you're at a point that you want to use Marcel, because yep. Oh, okay. We're gonna go ahead and go with the Sora ban. So right here we can go with I'm assuming Marcel or what else? The Boxia, which has been a big priority for both of these teams.
Maybe so far, I think that Influence Rage isn't thinking about like, okay, maybe that they can play with Marcel, but I believe they're like choosing or giving prioritize to maybe a Claude, for example, guaranteeing the gold lane here, to being a very interesting, strong late game for Claude, for example. We're still waiting for the last ban in the phase stage for 9Z Globant. Okay, he was Boxer, as we were talking about, but now let's see the first pick for Influence Rage. Maybe Valentina, that could be interesting.
Carry's open.
Claude. Carry, yeah. Yeah, good.
Yeah, you don't even if you want Marcel, you don't have to pick him up right now because 9Z Globant can't pick him. So you can actually save that for your second pickup and go with some priority here. Maybe the Suyu. The Suyo you can go with as a prioritization here. I think we talked a little bit about the carry, a big marksman that's super strong as well. Or maybe we might go with something in the mid lane. That we said, like I said, we've been seeing the Valentina's been pretty strong.
Harley.
Oh. Or none of them.
Or none of them. Harley it is.
Yeah, it's very funny, right? So we were talking about like so many situations, possible situations here. The compositions, Carry, Claude, you know, Marcel, and then there goes a no. Harley, go.
There's a lot of meta heroes right now and a lot of choices to choose from, so it's really hard to kind of guess what their first choice will be.
Yeah.
It just depends on their team draft or what they have planned against the other team.
As it goes, from a lot of these pickups, as exciting as it can be for a best of 3, that's kind of why, like, when it starts getting those best of 5s, you start seeing like a little bit more outside of the box thinking and people trying to put together some of these compositions that you just don't see every day. Fredrin and Valentina picked up for the opposite side. I feel like the Valentina may be out there to try to offset the possibility of a Marcel pickup. I know that when you see a Valentina on the opposite side as a team, you kind of got to think about what ultimates are we picking up that we're giving to the opposite team here. And there are some picks that go out there, some that are great, some that are bad for the Valentina that she doesn't really mesh with. So we'll see where Influence Rage goes here with those next 2 pickups.
My legacy shall endure.
Okay. Oh, Zetian and Khalid. Right. I was talking about Kalia, but it came with Khalid here, Zina.
Yeah, Khalid is really tanky. And the fact that he can go in and get his life back with his regeneration. I don't know what it's called, the sandstorm. The sand thing, but you know, he gets his life back, he stays tanky, he likes to initiate, and he can get the team in and out. And Zetian can also stun and give that CC for Harley to get that time to kind of throw his ult and burst down some enemies. So that's a great choice.
Yeah.
It also, having the Khalid on the side of Influence Rage takes it away from a 9Z Globant. The combination of Khalid and Valentina, you basically can one-shot the mid lane right from the opening start.
Yeah, so now we're seeing Harriet in a gold lane here for a 9Z Globant. Okay, magic damage we have. Also with Red Ring, also with the physical damage, also in the jungler here to try and guarantee the objectives. But now we're heading for the other phase of banning here, of other fanning phase, so sorry. And okay, what are we waiting to see here for the other bannings? Because assuming there is still XP and the gold lane here. Obvious. Okay, a very good one.
We're waiting for XP and Rome on the side of 9Z Globant, and we're waiting for the marksman and XP lane for Rage. So XP lane's kind of wide open there. 9Z Globant probably looking to kind of focus down on that to kind of limit some of the options, since both of them are kind of waiting.
Yeah, Hilda, the 4th ban.
Okay.
For the roaming. I think that 9Z can ban Claude here, or to influence Rage maybe, because we can also have a follow up for damage, especially
Ranger, there's carry.
Yeah. Combining like plays and duet with the burst damage that comes from Harley, for example, or maybe they can still focus on the XP lane. Maybe a Lapu can be the last ban, or Alice getting more sustainability in the XP lane. So let's see.
I've been waiting for too long.
Well, I feel like on the side that's where I was gonna go. I feel like with this early game from Zetian and Khalid, you've secured your early game, so you open up the options of having a late game marksman. Claude, you're not really gonna kind of try to pick into a Harith, because Harith kind of dominates that lane and really can kind of hold off. He just does so much more damage in the early game than a Claude can do, and you have the carry that really can lean into that late game. So a big pick off there by 9Z Globant. I'm trying to figure out what else you have, especially since Bruno was already picked up by Influence Rage. Granger is a possibility for Influence Rage as well. We're still waiting for that next pick from 9Z Globant. Looking for a roam, looking for an XP lane.
It's a new one? I don't remember the phrase.
That would be Grok.
Is it Grok? Oh, okay,
Grok.
okay. Right, so very hard engage for 9Z Globant so far, especially with the breath of the appreciated form from Fredrin and Valentina with the backup, the copy, the ultimate from the enemy that maybe can with the Sandstorm from Khalid, for example. That could be very interesting idea of execution on that composition so far.
Yeah, the big thing for Grok that I was gonna say is he's one of the ones I haven't seen a lot of in AMER, period. North or South, he provides he's kind of up there, not as effective as Hilda or Khalid in the early game, but he does provide a lot of damage, a lot of tankiness. He pairs well with the Valentina because he can help clear that lane early. She sprays it down, he just sweeps, clears out the entire lane, and he's got a great amount of movement speed, a surprising amount of movement speed for how big the character is. So they're going to be able to get to those side lanes very quickly as well.
Yeah, Terizla's being picked up again. He's making a comeback here in day 2 as well. And I remember you said Granger was not a great choice against Aherith, was it? Because of the fact that...
I'm not a fan of it.
yeah, because of the mobility or something. Because Aherith is also as mobile as Granger, so he can catch him.
Yeah. And he's going to depend. He's going to depend on the skill shot. You know, the ability of a skill shot that he has to hit especially the ultimate, the Requiem, against Harriet. You know, so Fury here has not a very easy situation versus Harriet, but let's see. Let's wait what happens. But I like the idea for Terizla here, but because it gives just a little bit of idea of execution for Influence Rage. You know, maybe they're trying to synchronize most of the ultimate with the penalty zone, with the Sandstorm. Maybe Syndra comes with ultimate from Zetian, for example, to try not only to spot but to stun the enemy. That could be a very interesting situation for Influence Rage.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get started in game 2 of this best of 3. Influence Rage fighting against 9Z Globant, a possible game point for Influence Rage, while 9Z is fighting to continue on to bring this to a game 3.
Okay, so now we are heading for the next game. That could be the last one here. That can be the second and last one. 9Z Globant versus Influence Rage. We are waiting just a little bit more for that show, but here we are.
Yeah, but great composition coming out there. Terizla, like I said, you said we haven't seen. He is actually probably, I want to say, one of my favorite XP laners that has kind of fallen away from the meta. His mobility, he's surprisingly tanky and strong, and the amount of damage that he can do once he's getting a lot of those stacks onto you is very surprising. But right now we're in a meta where the sooner that you're able to close in onto the back line, and not just close in on the back line, but you have to have the ability to search bushes, to get around, to see where everybody is. And that's because I want to say he can't get to the back line. You can get that flicker into his ultimate to get onto people, but what he doesn't have, that a character like a Yuzong or a Glue or something like that has, is Yuzong is able to kind of, once he activates that Black Dragon, he can fly through the air, search bushes, search different areas to try to find and lure out a lot of these marksmen. And I feel like that sometimes is what a Terizla can kind of lack sometimes.
Yeah, he lacks that mobility. He's very slow in that sense. Flicker would be a good choice, like you said, but when I do play him, I play Vengeance. Just so he's a little bit more tankier and he can take on a whole bunch and be that extra front line for the team. But he's a choice to go in the tournaments for sure, because he does lack that mobility. A lot of the meta heroes are very mobile, and I do like seeing him here though, 2 days in a row.
Yeah, we saw them yesterday. We saw him yesterday. Like Hessa was saying that, yeah, he's too slow, you know, but he has his strong point. You know, he has his ability, especially with the penalty zone. That could be very interesting for the idea for Influence Rage's composition here and execution. But let's see what is going to happen in the second game. I'm so excited to see, because for 9Z Globant, it's not even the now or never, you know, but if 9Z Globant lose a second game in a row, the situation can be very, very hard for them, you know, because they're heading and down in the bottom side, you know, and I believe the next game could be a best of 5 or the survival in the competition. So it is very important for 9Z Globant here to guarantee the second game to lead to the third one and decisive. But it's not going to be easy, because we're talking about Influence Rage that went through the final in the last season, lost to Black Sentence, but is still a strong team here so far.
Yeah, definitely a strong team to be competing in. They've been showing it, especially when it comes to a lot of these strategies and kind of letting 9Z Globant pick themselves into kind of a circle. They still kind of remain very, very strong, even when they weren't doing so well in the early game. And that's kind of one of those big marks of like a great team, is being able to kind of have that patience, let the enemy kind of run themselves out while you're kind of being, you're just kind of waiting for a lot of those power spikes to kind of come out. And here we're about to get started here with the second game already at the 40-second mark.
Yeah, so once again, everybody, let's welcome to the Land of Dawn in the second game here, Influence Rage versus 9Z Globant. So far it's 1-0 for Influence Rage, and it's now or never for 9Z Globant, at least to trying to lead to the third game. But now we're seeing Gusta that can be in trouble, 2v1, but he survives.
Yeah, a lot of mobility on Gusta on that Harith. So, and that's why I said I kind of, and I think you brought up a really good point when it comes to like the Harith versus the Granger. I feel like Granger has like a little bit of he's gonna have a harder time than Harith is in the lane, but that doesn't mean that a Harith is gonna be absolutely dominated Granger, because there are some great Grangers, and it does take a skill shot. So if you're absolutely great at predicting where the Harith is going to go, where those skill shots need to be, you can actually dominate in the lane. Right now, it does seem like both of them are pretty even back and forth, even with a little bit of that support that came from Influence Rage at the top lane just a few seconds ago.
Yeah, in the top lane, we're seeing a 1v1 Fury versus Gusta, but the party is going to rock in the bottom side of the river, because 4 seconds left for the first turtle here, Private.
Yeah, Turtle is up. Does look like both teams in a very good position here to try to contest that. One more here waiting for 9Z Globant. They do have 4 members. In comes the Khalid. We do have a big stall, big stun coming out with that Rage of the Phoenix. Arctic actually able to find a kill onto Louisenho. A great wall from the side of 9Z Globant to reset the Turtle. Push the Turtle out of the Turtle pit there. Reset it, followed up by the big stun and a big pickup for the side of a big pickup for the side of Influence Rage. They do find the first kill, the first blood there, and it does allow them the ability to get that turtle.
Yeah, that was what we're talking about, like, especially with the penalty zone from Arctic and the Terizla, and the Influence Rage is still guaranteed the first turtle also here. A very interesting early game for them. 9Z Globant has to, like, okay, it was a good idea for Burrow Crazy, like spanning the wall to getting reset the turtle, but so far they didn't get the goal, they didn't get the objective. So more than a good idea, they have to do something about, especially with the execution on the composition here, because if they don't do that, Influence Rage is gonna play forward.
Yeah, we already saw it. I mean, even with that wall, you kind of needed the follow-up there. Louisenho, in fact, just got caught by a great penalty zone from Arctic, and then the damage. Like we said, when it comes to a Terizla, the damage he can output is very surprising. I believe that his second ability does true damage as well, so he's just a huge mark for no matter who gets caught into that penalty zone here. Right now, starting to expand already. 1K over at the 4-minute mark is Influence Rage with 1 kill on the board, and just one kill on the board. And I kind of want to say too, you saw this in the last game too. It wasn't a high kill game, and that's because Influence Rage is doing such a great job of kind of juggling these fights. They don't really, you see a lot of skirmishes around, a little back and forth, some poking, but they're not really setting up a huge amount of fights unless it's going to lead to an objective. It's going to lead to a turtle fight or secure it for them or a tower.
Yeah, in the first game we saw Influence Rage always concerned about like securing and guaranteeing the goals, the objectives. And in the other hand, we used to see 9Z Globant always concerned to play well with Marcel, which didn't happen so well. But now the second turtle is still on the bottom side of the river, and both teams here are going to fight.
Ooh, bravest fighter onto the backside does find Hotun, but on the other side there, Luisenho gets taken out again by Arctic on that Rizla. Alvaro Crazy might be in trouble. Arctic finds the last shot there, as well as the rest of Influence Rage pushes out Freshen from this turtle. This is gonna be another secure by Influence Rage.
Yeah, he's low, yet he buys more time with his basic attacks on his skills, but he's really strong. We are talking about Terizla here from Arctic with 3 kills in a row, securing that composition for Influence Race, the execution. Oh, Chino!
Oh, Chino! He thought he was going to be able to get away underneath that bush. A great read there by Hotun, and he ends up in an Influence Rage sandwich.
My goodness, 1 more kill for Arctic, 4 kills for Terizla, and the first turret in the bottom side for Influence Rage. What a very strong early game, but oops, Steffi.
Ooh. Tried to come in with the Raging Sandstorm, does issue out a flicker for that. Deadly Magic goes out, Profession finds a great amount of positioning. The rest of the team covered down for him. Unfortunate, Gusto Lagusta actually comes in with the Zaman Force, putting on some damage on the Hotun, able to find a kill there with the help of the damage coming from Feshin. Sindrek tries to punish them for it, but is not able to supply in kind. Meanwhile, Steffi puts a little bit of damage onto Alvaro Crazy, but 9Z Globant finally on the board.
Veshin, why did you steal Gusta Lagusta's skill? Jokes aside, 9Z Globant still got the first kill here, but even though Influence Rage is working in the macro, Gusta Lagusta, I think that he can take the turret in the bottom lane down. He just lets the minion wave to do the job, and now Influence Rage trying to do the cross map here. But even though a 9Z Globant is still in the game, especially with Gusta Lagusta, but could be better if Gusta Lagusta get the first kill for 9Z Globant.
Yeah, it's very interesting here. They did allow Gusto Lagusta to kind of start rotating around the map so he can start getting fed, and that's going to have Chino up at the top lane. Ooh, Steph actually in a little bit of trouble to have the Rage of the Phoenix coming out. Big stun lands on the 2 members of 9Z Globant. Alvaro Crazy takes a Deadly Magic, is able to get away. Luisenho takes the rest of it, while now Influence Rage is going to have to back off from this fight. They do have the turtle up right now. That was going to try to set it up, but they don't find the kills that they need. Ooh, a big wall that traps Arctic, but now they need to worry. Can we protect Luisenho from Arctic? Yeah, they're honing in on Arctic. They don't want him to get another kill onto their jungler as well. Coming in there, does find a penalty zone. He still manages to get in and get the kill onto Luisenho, while Hotun comes in, snatches away the turtle. Arctic with a kill onto Chino. That's going to be 2 down for 9Z Globant. And what a setup by Influence Rage. Oh, we're continuing. We do have the Zaman Force on the back end. Alvaro Crazy takes a damage from Fury, gets taken down.
Arctic, you are unbelievable. You are ridiculous. Teresa with 6 kills here. Did you see the penalty zone? I was sensing, I was feeling that playing coming away, because okay, Arctic was with a very low HP, but he wasn't heading back to the base, you know, like, okay, he's up to something, he's trying to do something, and there was a really beautiful penalty zone for Influence Rage, guaranteeing more kills, guaranteeing 1 more turtle, 1 more turret for in the mid lane for Influence Rage. Now here we probably have a hero of the game. That could be Arctic.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if we're talking about the beginning of this game. They're doing very quick, very swiftly right now. 7-1, about a 6K gold lead for decided Influence Rage. Arctic just finding the great maneuverability to get in there and hone in on Luisenho. It seemed like actually, as we talk about that. Oh, a nice little tectonic charge does go out there. Zaman Force is out. Gusta Lagusta tries to lay down some damage to rest Feshin on the other side. Lapu is was in the mix of it, but Fury finds the kill onto Chino. That's going to be one down for 9Z Globant. But as I was saying, like, Arctic has been doing such a great job through these objectives. He has a wanted poster. The only face on it is Louisenho, and that is his only job during these objective fights, and he is executing to perfection.
You know, Private, what I saw in the last team fight, like when a Burrow Crazy put the wall to try to stuck Steffi. I remember that movie, right? So Steffi was like in the wall, and he was saying, I'm not stuck with you guys. You are stuck with me here. So Steffi went too forward. He played aggressive, and he provided more damage, especially for the following up for Influence Rage, guaranteeing one more kill for Fury with 2 kills. But now the Lord on the pit. Both teams are fighting for this goal.
If I'm Louisenho, my first focus is where is Arctic on this map? I need to make sure that this man is more than a distance away from me, because he has been a factor in every one of these fights. You can see him. He's even, look how far back Arctic is. He's waiting for a good opportunity to be able to get in there. Like I said, his only job is to jump onto Louisenho to be able to do all of that damage. And now we're at the point where 9Z Globant realizes how hard it is to just try to stop him. Oh, we have the stun coming out. Big penalty zone comes on to Chino. Chino is down. Fury with the last hit there. Elbow Crazy down to about 50%. Steph's going to go ahead, latched on, get some damage onto him. Now we're playing around with the Lord. Does look like Influence Rage does want to kind of bait this out. Wants to fight with 9Z Globant, and I'm still on defense. Does 9Z Globant want that fight? It doesn't look like it, as Louisenho being forced back, and that's going to be an easy Lord pickup for Influence Rage.
Yeah, first Lord guaranteed by Influence Rage. Gusta Lagusta is trying to at least reduce the damage for 9Z Globant, trying to take the turret down. But now he decides to head back in the base because Influence Rage is focusing on the mid lane here, taking down the turret number 2, and maybe a possible team fight. No, they decide to play safe.
Yeah, and now they are only left to high ground towers for the side of Influence Rage. 9Z Globant just having a hard time. They're at a point right now, it's 10k gold lead, that Influence Rage is able to force them back, take the towers as they will. Now you're going to have minions crashing at the bottom, the Lord starting to loom up at top, and your tanky players aren't as tanky as they should be at this point. Like I said, 10k gold lead, Lord crashing up at top, and the rest of the team going in. Influence Rage trying to put the damage on there. 9Z Globant looking for, we do have the stun coming out from the Rage of the Phoenix. Hotun finds the tower, able to bring it down, and able to find Louisenho. Chino gets taken out. Gusta Lagusta returning the favor. Zaman forces out as he takes 2 members down from the backside. Arctic coming in, looking for the damage onto Gusta Lagusta, while Fury gets taken out by Fashion, but answered and replied by Hotun as well. Now the team has to turn around to take care of this Lord.
3 for 3 here with Gusta Lagusta saving the day, at least for now, for 9Z Globant. But the fact is, the base is open. Only the last turret in the bottom side here is still standing for 9Z Globant. But as we see here in the items, Gusta Lagusta with almost full build, Infinity Glaive, Heaven's Feather, you know, a Magic Crystal if I'm not wrong, sorry. But it still is a very good advantage for Influence Rage, but I think that they are waiting for the next Lord to finish in a safe way here the second game.
Yeah, maybe overstayed their welcome just a little bit there. They did get a decent amount of kills. They got 2 high ground towers down. There's only 1 left. So I don't exactly feel like that's completely flipped the script for 9Z Globant, for Gusta Lagusta. I think he just, it was just Influence Rage waited just went a little too long under enemy territory, and that just allowed Gusta Lagusta to really rain on some damage. Right now, 12-4, and I believe about an 8k gold lead for the side of Influence Rage. Absolutely correct, but there needs to be something done. 9Z Globant needs to figure out an engagement tool that they want, get to the back end. The only thing is that's just easier said on paper than anything. If you try to engage on the Syndra, you've got that passive that's going to create distance. You try to engage on the Fury, he's got a dash and a flicker that he can use to try to get away from you. We already know Hotun's got his teleport support. So it's very complicated for what you want to do. And now, as we've been seeing from a lot of these matches, now they have a timer. Now they're going to have minions pushing through it, and they need to keep track of that while they're fighting.
Yeah, and now Lord here with the half of HP for Influence Rage, but now here comes 9Z Globant.
Yeah, 9Z Globant, we do have a conceal play coming out there. Steph on the back end, do have a stun coming out as well. Who's in trouble? Activates the Zaman Force. He's very low. Is he going to be able to get away? Look at all the shield that he's able to get. Chino on the back end, looking for the escape. Fashion, Gusta Lagusta and Chino are so low while Chino's able to dash his way back to safety. Gets taken out by Fury. Luis and Ho on the back end. It's just 3 members left from 9Z Globant. You do have a decent amount of damage, decent amount of clear coming from Fashion and Gusta Lagusta. Luis and Ho might be in a little bit of trouble. Zaman Force has been activated. A face tank of the Rhapsody and the Death Sonata, but down goes the jungler for 9Z Globant, and a clean core pickup for the side of Influence Rage.
Another clean, fast victory for Influence Rage. Guaranteed the first one here for them. 1 by 1 now for Influence Rage. Still survive in a competition. Xena, it's a very good one, but now guaranteed victory for Influence Rage.
That is a 1-1 in the Swiss stage for them. They're doing an amazing job. They kept dominating the map, keeping that map present and making sure that they had total domination and control of it. They were in sync. They did a great job here.
Yeah, and a great synergy there from Influence Rage. I mean, and especially when it came to like the pushing power and being able to transition a lot of their kills into objectives, into towers, into being able to creep into enemy territory. Only I want to say like there was just the one major offset being that they might have stayed a little bit too long when it came to that to the second to final push up, which allowed Gusta Lagusta to kind of turn it around, put the damage onto it. But they were just able to brush that off, wait for the next Lord, and to the final push.
Yeah, so we saw like 9Z Globant trying so hard to still survive in some team fights, but the idea for Influence Rage was so better, especially for the execution with Hotun and Arctic. My goodness, what happened to Arctic in this game with Terizla? 6 kills, the gold, and almost a 10k for him. I don't know about you guys. I know I'm not a pro as you to read the future, but here I think that we can say that, oh, but there's also Fury. Fury played so well with Granger too, but come on, Arctic is gonna be the MVP so far here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Terizla can be. I always feel kind of ashamed that we were talking a little bit about how slow Terizla can be, but being able to get to that back line all these times, being able to take down Gusta Lagusta. But you could see there, I want to say it wasn't just Arctic too. There was a big focus. Even that last time you saw Deadly Magic was already on Luis and Ho. So Hotun was able to kind of get to the flank, hit him with the Deadly Magic, while Arctic was able to come in with that penalty zone as well. Here you can see him going in, big penalty zone lands on, and then still swinging away at Luis and Ho. I wonder if we have that third one too, where the entire team finally realized, okay, we need to focus onto Arctic. We need to be able to bring him down, and they tried to focus onto him. Unfortunately, he was still able to get back. I believe he used the flicker and the penalty zone to get on to Luis and Ho to find that final turtle.
Yeah. He can go in and chunk down that damage with all of his hits right there and get his life back. He's a really tanky one to deal with, and especially as well Steph here on the Khalid. He did an amazing job initiating and getting in on that and allowing his backline to go in and get the kill and finish it off.
Yeah, and it was very important for Influence Rage's idea of the execution for Arctic here, because he was really important, especially for like with the penalty zone, trying to neutralize, especially the plays that would come for 9Z Globant, especially with Luizio, for example. We didn't see Luizio in the second game, you know, like Fredrin was like, he didn't appear, you know, so Most of because Arctic was always with the flicker and the penalty zone open to trying some place to try to do something to neutralize their tries or their plays. So it was really crucial for Influence Rage here to win, guarantee the goals, guarantee the objectives, and in a sequence win the game so far to guarantee the victory.
Yeah, well, the big thing is they basically reduced Fredrin to what an assassin needs to do, which he needs to hide away until he can't just linger out there with the threat of Arctic and to be able to single shot him as we take a look at the MVPs.
Oh.
All right, our MVP, of course, is that Terizla you guys were saying. He did not die. He was so tanky. 608 over here, 631 golds per minute, 40.3k in total damage.
I'm so surprised. I thought it would be Fury. But here we are seeing Arctic with Terizla and the highlights for the MVP of the second match here. So we were seeing he always like playing aggressive, being proactive, especially with the penalty zone, trying like not only zoning the players from 9Z Globant out, but also guarantee the damage and the kills.